All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you, just like me. All right, before I get going with this video, something a little bit different. Typically, I have a physical product that I will show you to promote, but instead I'm going to share a screen here and see how that goes. All right, here's the screen. This is the band Roulette, and they are from Sweden, and they are really, really cool. Okay, they've got a new song out. It's called Ready for Friday Night, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's got this great guitar hook intro, and it's the kind of music we used to listen to, and it's being made still primarily over in the country of Sweden, but in a few other locations around the world. This is the kind of stuff that used to get on the radio. It won't see the light of day here in the United States. I'm hoping to actually speak with this band at some point and do an interview with them. I know that's not super exciting to a lot of people who watch this channel, but I really enjoy great quality music like this. And this is the melodic rock that we, again, all used to hear on the radio, but we don't anymore. Again, if you like Foreigner or maybe some Van Halen, maybe. I don't know if you can compare it to Van Halen. It's just good rock music. The reason I say Van Halen is David Lee Roth last week was talking pretty positively about Eddie Van Halen. I'm not going to, pick it apart too much, but it's like when everybody says that Steve Perry really loved Arnel Pineda, he loved his singing because he did this speech at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he said that Arnel sings his heart out every night. And I don't know if that means he's doing a good job. That's kind of like, hey, he's trying really hard, and he's got big shoes to fill, mine, and he sings his heart out every night. Okay. I mean, you could take it in a positive way, though, too. You could say, well, that was a nice thing for Steve Perry to say. Was it a backhanded compliment? So the news media running around talking about Roth and saying that he had a love affair with Eddie Van Halen, or he compares, let me be specific here. David Lee Roth compares relationship with Eddie Van Halen to a love affair. Okay, that's not what he said, though. Look, Roth has come around and he said things like, yeah, I miss Eddie, and, my dearly departed friend, or something to that effect, which is good. That's moving things in the right direction. But here's why I'm a bit, suspicious of everything, is because Roth, after Eddie passed away, this interview with Roth aired on, I think it was like 60 Minutes or something, where Roth is basically promoting himself, talking about what he's going to be doing. And it was put out there in the context of Eddie passing away. And I thought, okay, there's going to be some real deep, eloquent, stream of consciousness Dave moments here. And it didn't happen. And then, a couple months back, Van Halen News Desk puts out this thing where Dave says that Ed was culturally illiterate. Okay. I mean, most rock fans aren't really going to care, Dave. See, Dave is a Renaissance man. I'm not going to try to argue with David Lee Roth because, again, he's going to have all kinds of information and knowledge that I probably don't have, because he is a pretty sharp guy for sure. And he knows a lot about things that you wouldn't think he would know about. I'm not knocking him for that. I think that's really cool that he knows all this stuff. But it wasn't for Eddie Van Halen. And for most guys who played guitar and learned to play like Ed, or at least were inspired by Eddie Van Halen, they're not really going to care if Ed is into 17th century architecture from, Russia or something. They're just not going to care. And so as time went on, I thought, hey, he's going to say something nice eventually. And he finally has, which is great. But the article goes on to say, hey, you know, this is like a love affair between Ed and Dave, which in today's world, of course, isn't a strange way to word things. But it is a strange way to word things for normal people. And so you read the article, and Dave is talking about how putting together these songs with Ed and writing great music that will last the test of time, and it sure will. I mean, I'm not denying that these guys had amazing chemistry, and you have to bring in everybody else in addition to Dave and Ed, and you have to bring the entire band, Michael and Alex. I mean, that was just a one-of-a-kind formation. It was just 4 guys who had a ton of talent. You had great production from Ted Templeman. You can't argue with Ted, at least in the way he did things, and he was very intuitive on how to produce Van Halen and how to get the most out of them. You should definitely read Ted Templeman's book, where he talks a lot about Van Halen and some of the other bands and artists that he worked with. The point I'm trying to make here is there is no evidence that these guys were best friends, okay, that they were having a love affair per se, in the way, even in the harmless kind of way that people might think of that. You know, it was really, according to Dave, a love affair with making that music, and how it was better than a relationship that you could have with a significant other person. In the case of Roth, there are all kinds of rumors out there, which again, if you're a patron on my channel, I think I've already addressed that with patrons. And it was brought to my attention by somebody who had worked with Dave, and they confirmed it with me, or at least they confirmed the likelihood of the rumor. But I'm not going to spread any rumors that I can't quantify here. I'm just going to say that it makes sense. It would make sense if the rumor is true. In any event, folks, again, it's good that Dave is talking positively about Eddie. But as far as them being buddies, you can even go watch a video of Eddie talking about Dave, saying he doesn't want to be my friend. He's into dance music. I'm not. And I think that's pretty clear of what the relationship was, especially toward the end. It's sad because Ed didn't have a close relationship with Dave. He didn't have a close relationship with Sammy. He seemed to be getting along really great with his son, Wolfgang. And I think good for him. I mean, family is more important. And even though Wolfie has kind of irritated me since this whole thing went down, it's definitely evident that he and his dad had a great relationship. And it's too bad that Wolfie doesn't do more to prop up his dad's legacy, rather than, you know, hey, I'm going to do a Foo Fighters tribute, and that's how I'm going to, you know, pay tribute to my dad. I mean, even if the industry didn't like Eddie Van Halen, and even if he ticked off both Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth, there should be something, and Roth should be spearheading this. He's got this podcast, you know, it's not interactive, which is, you know, the podcasts are very cool, but you throw the content out there, and if people are allowed to interact with Roth, they should be saying things like, look, why don't you pay tribute to Ed? If this was this great relationship, at least from a music standpoint, how come there hasn't been a tribute to Eddie Van Halen yet, a real tribute? And again, it doesn't have to be a Van Halen reunion. I've suggested that people just organize it and do it. And if Sammy or Dave don't want to participate, then just get some great musicians to do this. I mean, the Foo Fighters could pull it off. And I know there's a certain amount of dysfunction out there with all these Van Halen characters, but this is just kind of silly that it hasn't been done. And I think Roth, if he wants people to kind of take this thing seriously, where he says this music relationship was a love affair, then he needs to spearhead some kind of tribute and make amends with Sammy Hagar. I mean, it's just silly. It's the Sam and Dave battle still. I mean, these guys are getting too old for this stuff, and we're all getting a little bit too old for it as well. So there you have it, folks. I'm going to try to do the screen share again one more time so I can show you this cool band called Roulette, and they're just really good. And, you know, I mean, I'm going to try to be a little bit more selective this year with music. The song is called Ready for Friday Night. There is a music video out there. Doesn't have a lot of views on it. Typically, the stuff I find and people go, it's got 3,000 views, Dave. I mean, you get more views. Yeah, sometimes I do get more views. It's not a good thing. I'd rather see these guys getting a lot of views. So in any event, I would highly recommend Roulette. You can check out some of their older material. There's a song here called We Can Make It, which is the song that got me into Roulette. And you put this stuff on repeat play, and it will have a lasting impact. You'll be wanting to listen to it again and again. All right, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's a new year, so I'm going to need some new subscribers. I lose a few, and then I gain some. Also, Patreon, same thing. I definitely need your support over on Patreon. $1 a month, $2 a month. You know, things at this time of year traditionally really go downhill financially because the advertising for the holiday season is over and nothing really happens until the spring where they start to ramp things up again. So if you've ever thought about supporting the channel to help me out, it is a good time to get involved with that at $1 or $2, whatever you want to do. Also on YouTube, there's now a way you can get a membership. I think it's $2.99 per month, and it's a pretty simple way to do it as well. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for watching. See you soon.